Text number 12 to 18, Arjuna accepts Krishna's position and he requests him to know his opulences. And then text number 19 to 42, Krishna describes his limitlessness and his all-pervading opulences. So that way this chapter is completed. So yesterday we saw that Lord described that he is a source of opulences, that how the qualities which we find in this material world, they are also coming from him only. So now today text number 6, we will study that how Lord is the origin of all living entities. Text number 6. Maharshya Saptapurve Chatvaro Manavastata Madbhava Manasa Jata Isham Loka Imam Praja. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them.
Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord is giving genealogical synopsis of the universal population. Brahma is the original creator born of the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the 7 great sages, and after them 4 other great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, and the 14 Manus are manifested. All these 25 great sages are known as the 1 second version. All these 25 great sages are known as the patriarchs of the living entities all over the universe. There are innumerable universes and innumerable planets within each universe, and each planet is full of population of different varieties. All of them are born of these 25 patriarchs. Brahma underwent penances and for 1000 years of the demigods before he realized by the grace of Krishna how to create. Then from Brahma came Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, then Rudra, and then the 7 sages. And in this way, all the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are born out of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is known as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather. That is stated in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 11:39.
Okay, so in this verse, Lord is describing that how the living entities have appeared. Text number 7. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mam yo veti tattvata so avikalpena yogena yunjate natra sanshaya. One who factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt.
The highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. Here are the details. If one knows factually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. When one factually knows the opulences of of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to Him. This factual knowledge can be known from the descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures. In the administration of this universe, there are many demigods distributed throughout the planetary system, and the chief of them are Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the four great Kumaras and the other patriarchs. There are many forefathers of the population of the universe, and all of them are born of Supreme Lord Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original forefather of all forefathers. There are some of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. When one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt, and he engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, for by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Hare Krishna.
So, the ignorance of Supreme Personality of Godhead makes people enjoy this world. But as soon as one understands Supreme Lord, one will not have any taste in this world. And people don't want to understand. That is their misfortune. Because as soon as you know Krishna, He is Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is be all and end all for our lives, then we will certainly follow the description, the laws which He has made. And there will be, naturally, one will be surrendered to Supreme Lord. So that is purpose of religion. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranita. What is the religion? What Krishna has spoken. If we obey the words of God, then we will be happy in this world. So people don't want to obey Supreme Lord's words. They don't want to accept His existence. And they want to remain happy without spirituality, which is not possible. Apparently, materially, people will advance. But even after such an advancement, they will not be content. They will be always dissatisfied. They will always have some miseries. That's why it is very important. One should understand Supreme Lord. One should endeavor to understand Supreme Lord. And by that endeavor, when one understands and appreciates Krishna's position as a leader, He is the Supreme Lord, then only one can accept His supremacy and surrender to Him. And this surrender to Krishna is eternal happiness for living entity. So, this is what explained in this verse. Now we are beginning the Chatushloki Gita. Aham sarvasya prabho mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Purport. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply this teaching can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything. in both the material and spiritual world. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All the Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods. In the Atharva Ved, Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.24, it is said that Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedascha Gapayati Shma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in the Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again the Narayana Upanishad 1 says Atha Purusho Have Narayano Akam Yata Praja Shrejati. Then the Supreme Personality Narayan desires to create living entities. The Upanishad continues Narayanat Brahma Jayate Narayanat Prajapati Prajapati Prajayate Narayanat Indra Jayate Narayanat Astau Vasavo Jayate Narayanat Ekadasha Rudra Jayate Narayanat Kwadasha Ditya.
Aditya. Dwadash Aditya.
From Narayana, Brahma is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the 8 Vashus are born. From Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmano, Brahmanyo Devaki Putra, the son of the Devaki, Krishna is the Supreme Personality. Narayana Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko vai Narayana asin, na Brahma na Ishano, na po nagni samau neme, dvya aprithvi na nakshatra. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Sorry, Rajesh. Internet got disconnected.
Okay.
In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. Maha 1.2. In the Maha it is said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva. Who is it to be worshipped? In the Moksha Dharma, Krishna also says, Prajapatim cha rudram chapi aham eva srijami vai tauhi mam na vijanito mama maya vimohito. The patriarch, Shiva, and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusionary energy. In the Vara Puran, it is also said that Narayana Parodevas Tasmaj Jatas Chaturmukha Tasmadrudro Abhavatdeva Sacha Sarva Gyatvam Gata. Narayana is the supreme personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born. From Shiva was born. From whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generation and is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from the Vedic literatures engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In the comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness.
So in this verse, Krishna is explaining that he is a source of everything. So when we understand that Lord controls everything is in his control, and we are also under his control, then there will be peace of mind. One will understand that I am just an instrument in the hands of Krishna. So one will not take credit for whatever success one gets. He will offer those success to Supreme Lord. And if he endeavors his best, still he fails. So he will take merciful gratitude he will express to Supreme Lord. That ultimately I endeavored, but Lord knows what is good for me. So this is not apparently good for me. That's why it is not given to me. So that way he will have peace in failure. He will be depressed. So he will not get elated in success, neither he will get depressed in failure. But the people who don't know that Krishna is control of everything, then they will become very miserable actually. When they will get success, they will be very happy. But when they have taken care of all aspects of success and still they fail, then they don't know why they fail. And that is their disappointment. So a devotee of the Lord, he understands that Krishna is, he is everything. So I am also under his control. Like a child, when he is with father, how peaceful he is. He can go and punch some bodybuilder or some person, but he can do so many mischievous activities. But ultimately he comes back running towards his father, because he knows that my father will protect me. So same way, the devotees of the Lord, they don't trouble to others, but they always are under the shelter of Krishna. So they are practically peaceful and happy in all situations of their life, because they see the connection with the Lord, with them, and the Lord's connection with other things which are around us. So that way, the devotee lives his life. So here some references are given that how Krishna is source of everything, including the demigods like Brahma and Shiva. So Prabhupada has quoted around 5 scriptures: Gopal Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad, Maha Upanishad, Moksha, Dharma, and Varahapura. So what is recommendation for us, to remain Krishna conscious by these verses? So we should avoid unauthorized commentaries which people have written on Gita, but only we should accept the authority of the bona fide spiritual masters. Because the foolish people have commented on Gita, but they have made Krishna as an ordinary person. But Krishna is not an ordinary person, he is supreme person. So when one understands that Krishna is controlling everything and I am also under his control, then one gets a firm determination to practice a spiritual life, because one gets support from Krishna. When we accept his supremacy, then definitely Lord will support us in all our situations. So our success and failures will not be defined by materialistic people, but our failure and success should be defined by Krishna and his devotees. Because what we think success, materialistic people think it as a failure. But what we think as a failure, that materialistic people think success. So our definition of success is becoming devotee of Krishna. But materialistic people, when they see that somebody has become devotee of Krishna and he is not taking care of material life, or he is not earning well, or whatever it is, then for them becoming devotee is a failure actually. They think it's a failure. But when devotees, those who understand Krishna's supremacy, and they make the definition of failure success as per the Krishna's instructions in Gita, then that person will be always happy. So the determination we get as long as we feel the presence of Krishna in our life, and Lord is telling here that He pervades everywhere. There is no space where Lord doesn't exist. So there is nothing to fear in this world. Bhajaure mana Sri Nandana Abhaya Charanarvindar. So when our mind takes shelter of Krishna, we immediately become fearless. But as soon as we give up the connection with Krishna, then this material world is a very fearful place. So now next text 9, it will be symptoms of pure devotees. Now here Krishna's position is established. Now how the pure devotees are, that is explained in next verse. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantasya mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Pure devotees, whose characteristics are mentioned here, engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotee are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and soul are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they release the transcendental pleasure from the service itself, and in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in the transcendental position, they can release the highest perfection, which is exhibited by the Lord in His abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of the living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them, there are few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That seed fructifies just as the seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahma Jyotir effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, also that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Golaka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as a plant grows fruits and flowers, that plants of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord. Just as fish cannot live without water, In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narration about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. As stated in the Bhagavatam itself, 12.13.18, Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, Purnam Amalam Yat Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic, devotional, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotee is fully described. Thus the realized soul in Krishna consciousness take con- take con- take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literature, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Hare Krishna.
So in last verse, Krishna described about his supremacy, and now in this verse, Krishna is describing about his devotees to Krishna. So pure devotees, they have these noble qualities in them. So what is their chitta? Machitta. The devotees of the Lord, in their consciousness, in their chitta, is Krishna alone. So our chitta is filled with anxieties. Our chitta has chinta. We are always in anxieties. But pure devotees, they have anxieties, but for Krishna. They are happy for Krishna. They always think how to serve Krishna. They always think about him. So that is a quality of pure devotees. And they have made Krishna as their life. Machitta and Madgata Prana. They have made Krishna as their life and soul. So unless until we don't make Krishna as our life and soul, then our mind will not be absorbed in thoughts of Lord. So that is very, very important. And unless until our mind is not absorbed in Krishna's thoughts, then we will not speak about Krishna. Because the person will speak what he likes. If you go to, medical college, the boys will be speaking about the subject of medicine and all those things. They will never speak about missiles or rockets or other things, because they have accepted medical field as their goal. So then their talk and their action, their apparatus, everything will be surrounded towards the body and the treatment and all those things. That is their, how they spend their life there, because they have decided to become a doctor. And somebody wants to become a captain or somebody wants to become a military man, then their activities are different. Their talks are different. So every phase of life, every field of activity, every field where people want to become certain things, somebody wants to become hero, somebody wants to become heroine, somebody wants to become bodybuilder, somebody wants to become archer, somebody wants to become fighter. They all will have their own role models, they will have their practices, and they will have their discussions surrounded to that goal which they want to achieve in their life. So, being a devotee of Krishna, we should understand, unless until you don't make Krishna as our life and soul, we don't make him as our spiritual supreme personality, as our life and soul, then our chitta will not have thought about him. If we superficially accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, then our mind will accept any other thoughts as a priority, but it will not give priority to Krishna. And such a half-hearted person's practice will not give him seriousness in spiritual life. So it is like a firewood which is not dry. If you put firewood in water and try to burn it, it will just create smoke and it will burn our eyes. So like that, half-hearted devotional service will not give us happiness. And we wonder that I am practicing spiritual life, but why I am not getting results like pure devotees? Why Krishna is not coming and protecting me? Krishna came to protect Draupadi, but she chanted with a utter helplessness. So we hold on so many other things. In case Krishna doesn't come, then I have these things to support. Then that way, our call will not be so genuine, which Krishna has to attend. So that's why we should learn that how to keep our attention, our chitta on Krishna. So that happens only when we associate with the devotees of the Lord. So Prabhupada is quoting here from Chaitanya Charitamrita that Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhaktivedanta Bija. So the seed of devotion we get in the association of spiritual master. Because in material association we get material desires. Like suppose some hero is there, or some big scientist is there. They are influencing the people, down the line. Like Newton's law, we studied so many times because he appears to be a pure devotee for material science. So people follow his rules, regulations. They do experiments based upon his axioms, his rules and all that, and they get some success in material life. So same way, we want to have success in spiritual life, then we must accept some pure devotee in our life. And from that pure devotee, we get a devotion. We get a seed of devotion, Bhakti Lata Beach, in the form of initiation. Then after that, we have to work upon that seed. Like we get a good seed, but land is barren, then even good seeds will not fertile. So our heart should not be barren. Although pure devotees are instructing us, but we are not absorbing those instructions in our heart. And we are not fructifying those instructions into devotional service, turning it to devotional service. Then even good advices are not, if we don't pay heed to it, then it will not help us. So that's why it's very important that we take that devotional service from the pure devotees, the instructions from pure devotees. Brahmande Brahmita Kone Bhagyavan Jeev Krishna Bhakti Lata Bij. That Bhakti Lata when we get, that Bhakti Lata Bij when we get, we have to fructify that seed by putting water in that. So that water is association of devotees. And the minerals, what we put, that is all hearing, chanting. So when we associate with pure devotees, then what happens naturally? But Bodhayanti Parasparam. These pure devotees, they are talking with each other about Krishna only. Like two cricketers, cricketers, they come together. Their subject matter will be about cricket. If two businessmen people will come together, they will share the knowledge about the business to each other. So every like-minded people, they come together, they will discuss about the subject which they are expert in it. So same way, when pure devotees, they come together, they discuss about Krishna. And that discussion, if we happen to participate, then we also become fortunate. Atho Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya. Then that Sadhu Sangha will have effect in our lives. That Bodhayanta Parasparam, what the pure devotees are discussing among themselves will have impact on our life. Like Parishit and Shukdev Goswami, they are speaking about Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we hear those narrations about Krishna from pure devotee to another pure devotee, then that will affect our hearts. And what happens? When we pay attention to those discussions about Krishna, then our heart will be cleansed. Nashtaprayashu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata seva. Our heart gets cleansed. And when the heart is clean, then we understand what is temporary and what is permanent. Then our actions will take place for permanent things. So when we understand the importance of spiritual life, then we will not waste our life in working for material, temporary life. We will pay attention to the eternal life, that is our spiritual life. So that change takes place when we associate with devotees. And it is not something hypothetical, it is practical. We have seen in our own life, like before becoming devotee, how we used to spend our time. But after becoming devotee, we always feel there is a dearth of time. We don't have time. But in material life, people, they don't know what to do with the time. They want to kill the time. They want to do time pass and all those things. Because they have nothing valuable to do in their life. But for devotees, the life appears very short. And they like to do so many things for Krishna. And they are full busy in giving their service to Krishna. So much so, they don't want to sleep also. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was doing Mahaprakash Lila, the daytime they were chanting and dancing. So Lord Chaitanya thought that why we are wasting our time in night sleeping. So they started doing in night also Kirtan. So day and night they were doing Sankirtan. So that is sign of advancement, that how one utilizes his time. So the quality of devotee is also avrata kalatam. They never waste their time. And in NOI also it is given smrityo kramena manasa vasani niyaj, that one should spend 24 hours in the thoughts of Krishna, in the pastimes of Krishna, we should absorb. And when our mind is absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, then our words also will be about him. Like a boy, when he's fallen in love with the girl, then whatever he will speak will be around that girl only, to his friends. So that way, the pure devotees who are attracted to Krishna, their hearts are attracted to Krishna, they will always speak about Krishna. And that speech, that pure speech about Krishna will attract our hearts. Like when person sees some hero and heroine, the lust which they have in them, that permeates to the audience also, and they also become lusty to some other persons. So we can see that the hero heroine are the role model for lust. When people follow them, they also become lusty. Then what to speak about pure devotees? They are the lovers of Krishna. Their love, their actual prem which they have for Krishna, if we take inspiration from pure devotees, then our love for Krishna also will be awakened. So everybody has a potential love for Krishna that only one has to awaken. So that love which is dormant stage will be awakened when we take association of pure devotees. So that is called as a Bhakti Lata Bij. So this seed of devotion has to be protected from the mad elephant of Vaishnava Aparad, Ninda, Vaishnava Ninda, and all those things, anarthas. We have to protect this plant, and we have to nourish this plant by hearing, chanting, associating with pure devotees, discussing about Krishna, doing Krishna conscious services. So that way, a devotee should engage in Krishna service. So what happens when one engages in devotional service like this, 24/7, doing deity worship at home, offering Krishna bhoga, offering prasad to devotees, like that we are busy, then what happens? The result is explained here. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Such a devotees who are 24/7 are engaged in devotional service, they are really satisfied and happy. So nobody can become happy in this material world other than devotees. Everybody is desperate actually to become happy, but the happiness which they are searching is like a mirage. And they run very fast to think that they will become happy, but they find only hot sand at that stage. Like people say, when you become young, you'll be happy. When you become young, they say when you get a job, you'll be happy. When you get a job, they will say when you get settled in married life, you'll be happy. When you settle, then they'll say when you'll become retired, you'll be happy. And people say when you die, then you'll be happy. Yogaksham Vaham. That is the policy, of material life. So we should not be run behind the mirage of this material world. But actual oasis, actual devotion is so nourishing. Even if we get some droplets of Krishna consciousness, some love for Krishna, we will be happy. Shantija Ramantija. So such a devotees are always satisfied and always happy. And that devotees, those devotees association, if we take, then we will be happy in material life. Even, they will make us, they will stop our running behind the mirage and they will turn us towards Krishna. The smiling face of Krishna, when we see, then our heart will be eternally satisfied. So the names which we chant for Krishna, that will satisfy us. The pastimes which we hear about Krishna, that will satisfy us. The glories which will repeat, which will speak, that will also give satisfaction to us. So that way one can become really happy and prosperous by practicing Krishna consciousness. So in this verse, Lord has described the qualities of pure devotees. These are our aspirations actually to come true to this verse which Krishna has spoken here. Machitta Matkata Prana Bodhayanta Paraspara. So this is what we should do when we come together. So we should not end up in association of Vaishnavas doing gossip about the material world. But in association of Vaishnavas, we should enrich our Krishna consciousness. So that is actually taking association is. And otherwise, we are not purifying by association, but we are purifying ourselves, polluting ourselves by not speaking about Krishna or not thinking about Krishna. So everybody should remind each other about Krishna. So that is the duty of a devotee. So how one can become pure, that is explained in next verse by Krishna. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him many things and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of the material world. The ultimate goal of the process is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotee and bona fide spiritual master are important. One, one should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruit of activities, he is known as karma yoga. He is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana yoga. And when he knows the goal and seek Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti yoga or Buddhi yoga. which is complete yoga. This is complete yoga. In this complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person who may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attained to a spiritual organization. But if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kind of service. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him.
Okay. So now Lord is telling that my responsibility. So Lord is telling that I have responsibility. What is that responsibility? To give you yoga, the intelligence by which you can come to me. But what is his expectation Krishna has from us? That we serve and think about him always. That too, not out of fear, like comes up, but out of love. Bhajatam Bhiti Purokam is not Krishna expects from us. That out of fear we are serving Krishna. No. But we are serving Krishna 24/7 out of Priti, natural love. And sign of intelligent man, that is an intelligent person. There is no person other than Krishna's devotee is intelligent. Suppose somebody is put into the puzzle and there is an exit. A person is, roaming around everywhere but not going towards exit. Then that person is not intelligent. The one who is going to exit gate, then that person is intelligent. So like we have stuck up in material world and there is an exit path, that is devotional service. If we are not taking up to the exit path, but we are rotating around in 84 lakh species, birth after birth, lifetime after lifetime, then that is not intelligence. Going to heavenly planet also is not intelligence, because even though you go up to heavenly planets, but what is the use? You are going to stuck up in this material one only. So the real intelligence is one who goes out of this cycle of birth and death, and he goes to the spiritual world. What is that spiritual world? Where he comes back. So that intelligence is really intelligence. So karma yogi is attached to certain principle, but he has a desires to get some fruits. So that is the definition given. And about when you're really intelligent, the most exalted intelligence you have is to obtain, because when one gets Krishna, then nothing remains. One is not of. Krishna is so real intelligence extra Krishna, and Lord is so merciful upon that devotee who is that Lord gives him, and if Lord wants intelligence, then material science, the entire science shifts to some airships to moon planet or she is very intelligent. The government spends 500 crore rupees for just 15 days to spend to make somebody stay in this, what is that? Space.
Hare Krishna. Surji, your voice is breaking.
That is not out of material wealth. That is only rupees. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Yes, Surji, now it's better, but it is breaking in between sometimes.
So for others also same problem.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this recording also will happen like this only, or
Surji, it just started. I mean, it was fine previously.
anyway.
Recording, I don't think. Maybe switching off the video may
So
help.
whenever you get a problem, you tell me immediately or send me a message so that I will stop. Otherwise, okay. So where I was and the person comes back again to material, to earthly planet. Then what to speak about sending somebody to spiritual world? Sending spiritual world is not a small thing. It requires the mercy of Krishna. And that mercy comes only when we have genuine love for Krishna. And we engage in Krishna's service. People should not say, I love Krishna, I love Krishna, I love Krishna, but they are busy in some other things. Then that love, what they are saying from their mouth and the activities which they are doing, it's not matching actually. Then that is just a lip service which they are doing. Like a husband loves wife when he says, I love you, I love you. He doesn't bring sari to her, he doesn't bring any ornament to her, he doesn't give any money to her. Then what he's saying is, it has no meaning actually. His actions are totally opposite to what he's saying. And the same way the wife says, husband, I love you, and she doesn't cook for him, she doesn't take care of him, then that is also lip service. So same way, when we say I am devotee of Krishna, and we don't devote any time to Lord, and we just proclaim ourselves as devotees, then that is not a priti purvakam. That is not a devotional service engaged, satatam yuktana. So then we don't get any love for him, and then we don't get any intelligence to love Krishna more. Already we don't have love for Krishna, and we don't have intelligence for loving Krishna. And if we don't serve him at all, then what intelligence we'll have? We will have intelligence to stuck up in this material world. We will have intelligence to make our stay in this world permanent. That intelligence we'll have. And we're getting out of this cycle of birth and death. So real intelligence is one who is engaged in Krishna service. So that is the real intelligence. So by that intelligence, Krishna takes the responsibility to give that intelligence. And that intelligence is not a mundane intelligence which requires some degree or some certification or all those things. No, this intelligence even an animal can get. Like Gajendra, he is an animal. He is an elephant. Elephant is dullest animal in the animal society. So animals are already animals, and in that elephant is ultra dull. But such a elephant, he loved Krishna. He offered lotus flower to Krishna. He offered whatever prayers he was remembering. So such a service which he has done, Krishna immediately came to save him. So the Lord doesn't require even any intelligence. He doesn't require it. He requires from us is the attitude. So advancement in Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the follower. If we have right attitude to love Krishna, then immediately we get the intelligence. Like everybody has money, but for what they are spending, that's matters actually. Like Arab country, people have so much wealth, but they don't have love for God, so they are using that wealth to make commodes out of gold. They have toilets made of gold, but what is the use? They have such a wealth which they are passing. So what is the use of that wealth? So having material opulences like anything, but no devotion to Krishna is the poverty of spiritual life. The real rich, the person is one who remembers Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to eat in the house of only the one who is a Lakpati. Lakpati not in material terms. Lakpati by the holy names. The one who chants lakhs of names. That place Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take prasad. So we chant every day 16 rounds. How much it is? How many mantras? How many names we are chanting?
24,000.
So we are not Lakpati also. We are 1/4 of Lakpati. So this is this opulence we should try to increase. This is a Priti Purvakam. We should chant Krishna's names with Priti Purvakam. We should read with the final exam which is going to come in our life. So this way we should engage in Krishna service. So how we engage, that way Lord will reciprocate. So if we make show of devotional service, then Lord will also do show of taking us back to Godhead. He will not take us. Our people will put us in samadhi, and they will write under our photo also, Vaikunthavasi or this Vasi, that was. But that is just a namesake actually. Where that fellow has gone, nobody knows. And where we will go, we also will not know. If we are not practicing 100% sincerely, then
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Voice is
us
breaking.
Hare Krishna.
Slate is breaking for you. Roji, you are on mute.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Raja, now
No.
we can hear you.
Now it's okay?
Yes.
Okay. So this verse is very, very important verse, and here Lord's loving reciprocation is explained, that how much He is eager to take us back to Godhead. That Lord is ready to, is that what is requirement? Lord is
Prabhuji,
wants from us. What is
voice is
what He wants from us?
breaking again, Prabhuji. Couldn't hear your question.
Okay. So
maybe Prabhuji, if you can switch off your video, that way maybe.
yeah, that will be good. Hare Krishna. So this is most compassion of Lord, which is showing to us that He is ready to help from all directions to us, by which we can come back to Him. So such a great mercy is going to bestow upon us only if we do two things. What are these? What are those two things? Anybody wants to answer? Hare Krishna.
Devotional service
Yes.
with love. Devotional service with love.
But how long?
Constantly, always engaged.
Okay. So we should not take break from devotional service. That is our life. Like we have office morning 9 to 6. But after people come back from office, will they do any work of office? On weekends, anybody works for office? No.
No one likes it.
But devotional life should not be like that. We go temple, then only it begins. When we come back to temple, even our devotional life should continue in our material life also. So we should remember Krishna. We should keep Krishna back of our mind, even in our material life. So for devotees, there is no material life. Everything is spiritual only. Even material life is also spiritual. Because why we are working? So that we get some money. And by that money, we will become more Krishna conscious. So that way, that earning also is a devotional service. A student is studying. He should also understand that is a devotional service. Because if he becomes a first class or he becomes a great student, then he will bring name to Krishna. So everything will be connected to Krishna. So that is the art of devotional service. So for devotees, Gruye Thako, Vani Thako, Sadahari Pulita, they will be Krishna conscious everywhere, in all phases of life. So in that way, if we are busy and thinking about Krishna out of love, then Krishna will make all arrangements for us, by which we will return back to his abode, or in consciousness of his service. Okay. Now Krishna will describe that how he is merciful upon us to destroy the ignorance. Teshamevanukampartam ahamadnyajam tama nashayamaatma bhavasto jnanadepena bhasvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Then Lord Chaitanya was in Benares, promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were following him. Prakashananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophical, naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee
Hare Krishna. Mataji, we are not able to hear you.
Should I continue?
Yes, Sureshwari Radhika Mataji, you can read. Sudarita Mataji, you can read maybe next because we are not able to hear you.
Okay, thank you.
But even if a devotee does not take advantage of these literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is held by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating, one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they may be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God, as stated in this verse. The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the Supreme Truth, the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by speculating. For the Supreme Truth is so great that it is not possible to understand Him or to achieve Him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the Supreme Truth, he will never understand Krishna or the Supreme Truth. Only by devotional service is the Supreme Truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, and with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association through many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors. Hare Krishna.
So in these 4 verses, Krishna described in first verse that how he is supreme. He pervades everywhere. And in next verse, he described about the devotees, his pure devotees, how they are. And in third verse, he described that how if when somebody endeavors to love him 24/7, then he gives the intelligence. And now this verse, Lord is telling that I have utmost compassion for the devotee who has surrendered to me. I go in his consciousness and to remove his ignorance. Out of the compassion, he comes in the hearts of devotees with a lamp of a knowledge. So this knowledge, when enlightened living entity, then they will not commit any act of ignorance. So pure devotees are enlightened within. That's why they are always in Krishna consciousness. But we are conditioned souls. So sometimes we are enlightened, sometimes we are morose, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are miserable. So we are not consistent in our performance of devotion service because it's very fluctuating. Because of our devotion is not stable. Because of our arthas, they erupt and they break our faith, or they stop us from surrendering to Krishna or remembering Krishna. That's why we sometimes become very enlightened, and sometimes we are totally morose. But if we remain consistent on the path of devotional service, no matter what happens, I will not give up my devotional service. Then with such a firm determination, one has taken shelter of Krishna and his pure devotees. Then for such a person, Lord enlightens him by spiritual knowledge within as a Chaitya Guru, and outside by Shiksha Guru and all those gurus, those who are coming representing Krishna and helping the person to practice Krishna consciousness. So we should take the call of Lord to help us seriously. So anytime the Lord is helping us through devotees, many times Lord is helping us through scriptures. So anything which reminds us about Krishna, we should know that it's mercy of Lord, who is coming and inspiring us in devotional service. So that's why Lord is telling here that by my mercy, you will be enlightened and your ignorance will be destroyed by the lamp of devotional light, devotional knowledge. So that's why we should be very, very careful and responsible to remember Lord and to associate with devotees. When we associate with devotees, then it becomes very easy to remember Krishna. And when we become pure devotees, then we will remind others about Krishna. Otherwise, if we are not powerful, then if we go to, when we associate with materialistic people, if our power of spiritual life is very less, then we will get discharged. Instead of charging them, we will be drained out. So we should understand our capacity, and accordingly we should put ourselves in those situations. So we should be very careful that before going out in material world, we are having a proper shield of devotion. We chant our rounds nicely, we complete our rounds, then only we should go out. Otherwise, if we don't perform devotion service nicely and enter in material world, then the material world will be so attractive that it will attract us so badly that we will give up practicing devotional life only. We will think that devotional life is a wastage of time. It has spoiled my life. By devotional service, I could not get success in my in material life. That kind of thought will come. So instead of becoming more spiritual, we will become more miserable. That Krishna consciousness has taken away my career. Krishna consciousness has taken away my success, and like that we'll start blaming Krishna consciousness. So this way, our ignorance gets it gets very deep. But when we associate with devotees, when we associate with pure devotees, and when we do devotional service nicely, then Lord will be very compassionate upon us, and He will remove the anarthas from our hearts, and we will get attached and attracted to devotional service. So that is the compassion of Krishna. So whether Lord is becoming compassionate on us or not, that is visible by how much we take spiritual life seriously, how much importance we are giving to spiritual life, how much sincerely we are practicing spiritual life. That is mercy of Krishna. If we are developing taste in material life, that means it's not mercy of Krishna. So we should be very careful and on alert state always, that where my mind is going, where my thoughts are going, what I am valuing, what is my value system. So we should always check that whether it is leading me towards Krishna or it is drifting me away from Krishna. And the sooner we change, sooner we come back to reinstate and devotional service, the better it will be for our long term. Otherwise, we should not think that tomorrow I will become serious, and after next month I'll become serious, or next year I'll become serious. Then nothing will remain actually. I have this thought also to become serious. So that's why we should be very careful and very, very conscious and give utmost priority to our devotional life. So that way Krishna can shower his mercy upon us, and he can destroy the ignorance within our hearts. Okay, now there is a question by Arjuna in this next verse. Arjuna vacha parabrahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adidevam vibhum ahustvam rishya sarve devarshi narajastatha asito devalo vyasa swayam cheva bravishimi. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asit, Deval, and Vyas confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Hare Krishna. In these two verses of the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the Mayavadi philosopher. For here it is clear that Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita in this chapter, became completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, "You are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And previously, Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Now, by his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth in concordance with the Vedic injunction. It is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Whatever Arjuna says in these 2 verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunctions. In the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything, and Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. In the Mundaga Upanishad, confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is Marana, one of the methods of the devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the supreme pure complies with the injunctions of the Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities, of whom Narada is the chief. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoy one's transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence. He is free from bodily needs, birth, and death. Not only does Arjuna confirm this, but all the Vedic literature, the Purana, and the histories. In all Vedic literatures, Krishna is thus described, and the Supreme Lord himself also says in the 4th chapter, although I am unborn, I appear on this earth to establish religious principles. He is the supreme origin. He has no cause, for he is the cause of all causes, and everything is emanating from him. This perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of Supreme Lord. Here, Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statement in these 2 verses. This is called the Parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. Hare Krishna.
So here Arjuna is declaring that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is telling that it is not my mental concoction, but I am speaking which I heard from great saintly people, the authorities. So saintly people, they are telling, Krishna is Supreme Person of Godhead. So it is very, very beneficial for conditioned living entities to accept the words of these saintly people. Because saintly people, they don't speak to cheat others. What they will get, the saintly people have left their material life, they have not left to cheat others. But when saintly people, when they take spirituality and they don't give Krishna to others, but they just run behind the material possessions, then that is very disappointing to normal human society. So the duty of saintly people is to establish the supremacy of Krishna. Then only they are saintly. If saintly people are not putting Krishna's supremacy ahead, they want to become supreme, or they want to become Krishna, or they want to get worldly name, fame, glory, and they are setting a wrong example, then they are not saintly people. But Arjuna is quoting here the saintly people, Asita, Deval, Vasu. These are the very great examples the saintly people are, who have established Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that way, Arjuna is, putting forward the supremacy of the Lord in this verse. Now, he wants to now in this verse, he is telling that no one knows you. सर्वमेतत्कृतं मन्ये यन्मामवदस केशव नहि ते भगवान व्यक्तिं विदुर देवान दानव. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Somebody can read.
Mahavan Kovindu, will you be able to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Actually, the PDF is not visible.
I'll share my screen.
Text number 14,
Not 14, 1 second.
15.
Yeah, 14 only. Yes.
Trans purport. Okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, translation, right?
Okay.
Purport. Okay. Arjuna herein confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand, actually, cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigod. So, what to speak of the so called scholars of this modern world? By the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that the supreme truth is Krishna and that is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita as described in the fourth chapter. The Puranas Purana system of the disciplic succession for the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita was lost, and therefore Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in the instructions of in, introduction to Gitopanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in the Parampara system. When the Parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all the Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So in this verse, Arjuna is telling that even demigods and demons, they cannot understand you. Demigods, sometimes they get bewildered, like Brahma got bewildered by Brahma Vimohan Lila, or Indra got bewildered by Govardhan Lila. So like that, they also not able to understand Krishna completely. And obviously, demonic people too, they will not understand Krishna. So sometimes we think we understand Krishna. But that understanding should not be like demigod understanding. We should not think that Krishna is any another god, or Krishna is, a sweet looking god. So we should understand Krishna completely. That what his position is. He is not any another god or any other person. or just a charming boy. So Krishna is not just that, but he is greater than anything in this world. So that understanding we can derive from Lord and his devotees, his bona fide representatives who are coming in disciplic succession. So from them only we can understand the Krishna's original, position. So this is what Arjuna is telling in this verse. Swayameva vetatvam purushottama bhutabhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe.
Perfect. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjun and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is statement of Krishna, and since it is science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjun understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yat jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, at the last stage of understanding the Absolute Truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagwan or accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottam, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjun addressed him as Purushottam. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjun addressed him as Bhuta Bhavan. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore he is addressed herein as Deva Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjun, and we should follow in footsteps of Arjun to understand Krishna as he is.
So this way, Arjuna is telling, Lord, nobody can know you other than you yourself. So you only now describe more. So this way, he is going to request Krishna from text number 15 to 19 in next 5 verses. Arjuna will tell Krishna that please you describe your glories more. So here he is calling Krishna as a Purushottam. He is a supreme person. He is a Bhut Bhavan. He is father of all living entities. He is a Bhutesha. He is supreme controller of all living entities. He is a controller of the demigods also. Deva Deva, Jagatpati. He is a proprietor of everything. Now he requests Krishna. वक्तुम् अर्हसि शेषेण दिव्यात्मा विभूतया याभिर्विभूतिर्विलोकान् इमास्त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Yes.
Ashwini Mataji, will you be able to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I was waiting for Isha Mataji.
Okay,
Okay, I'll
yeah,
go.
Isha Mataji, you are here. If not, yeah, Ashwini Mataji, go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead. Okay, Mataji, yeah, will you be able to read?
Prabhuji, I don't have book. If possible to share the.
No problem. Ashwini Mataji, you read this time. We'll come to you next verse.
Okay, Prabhuji. Till then,
Yeah,
I'll
seven.
open
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. 17 will be yours.
But in this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have. And through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt. Yet, he is asking Krishna to explain his all pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all pervading nature of the Supreme. So, Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of common people. Hare Krishna.
So, what impresses one, it depends upon what one's interest is in. So, like rich people meet poor people. The poor person has an interest of that person's richness. So everybody has different interests. So devotees are not interested in Krishna's opulences. They are interested in Krishna. But here Lord Arjuna is so merciful that he is not only considering the interest of devotees, that anyway he is a devotee, so devotees will love Krishna anyway, not because he is Supreme Person or he controls everybody, he is Devdev or he is Jagatpate or not these attributes. Devotees love Krishna because he is Krishna. But for other people, his opulences will attract them towards him. So to having compassion for other people in general, Arjuna is now requesting Krishna to explain the all divine opulence of yours. Now next verse. Katham vidyamaham yogim tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O supreme mistake, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yes.
Isha Mataji, now will you be able to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji. Thank
How
you.
should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? All it is. Just a second, I'm just adjusting my screen. As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yogamaya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjun is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality, Supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which all
pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. No common man, including the demons and atheists, can know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yogamaya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjun for their benefit. The superior devotee is not only concerned for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. Out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnav, a devotee, Arjun is opening the understanding for the common man as far as the all perceiveness of the Supreme is concerned. The he addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin because Shri Krishna is the master of Yogamaya energy by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjun is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic person of this world because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually. They are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
So in this ways, Arjuna is asking that hearing about you increases the remembrance. So by hearing Krishna's opulences, one will able to remember him always, and one can think about him. So Arjuna has asked, how shall I constantly think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? So he is asking all this. Naturally, devotees will remember Krishna, but for impersonalists and other yogis, he is asking the features, Lord, to explain which these people can understand. So that is the nature of a Vaishnava. He is asking for the benefit of these yogis and impersonalists. Now, next verse, he is going to describe that how hearing about Krishna is not tiresome. It's not satiating, but one relishes about hearing more about Krishna. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuya kathaya trupti shrunvato nasti me amritam. O Janardhan, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words.
Amit,
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Purport. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka. That statement is Vayam tu na vitrupyama uttama shloka vikramin yat pratam rasha chanam swadu pade pade. One can never be satiated, even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of pastimes of Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Thus, Arjun is interested in hearing about Krishna and is specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amrutam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. In that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matters remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. Hare Krishna.
So here Arjuna is telling that how hearing about Supreme Lord Krishna is always like relishing nectar. This is not going to satiate one. The more we hear, the more attraction for Krishna will develop. So he is supporting, Prabhupada is supporting by this, quoting the Bhagavatam verse. So in this way, Arjuna, being a devotee of Krishna, he is very much interested to know about Krishna more and more. So he is asking for the following reasons: for the sake of common people, for the sake of materials, for the personal absorption, and to taste the nectar. That's why he wants to hear more about Krishna. So now Krishna will describe his opulences from text number 19 to till the end of this chapter. Text 19. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Katham Hantam Te Kathayishyami Divyayatma Vibhutaya Pradhanyata Purushreshta Nastantyo Vistasme. The Superpersonality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless.
It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual's soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanayatah, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all, and Vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amar Kosha dictionary, it is stated that Vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies. But both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now, Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, a part of his variegated energy is described in this way. Hare Krishna.
So in material world, like we see to ATM, we go to ATM and we withdraw some cash out of it. So if ATM is giving cash, that doesn't mean that is supreme. The ATM is just representing the bank, and all banks are representing the Reserve Bank of India. So actually speaking, by looking at ATM, we can appreciate the opulence and the power of Reserve Bank of India, who holds the entire riches. Even rich people get riches by the Reserve Bank of India. So like that, now Lord is going to describe the list of so many prominent his representatives. By looking at it, by hearing about it, we can understand the reservoir of all these opulences, the Supreme Lord, how great he is, and he should obviously attract us. In material world, some heroes are attracting people, some cricketers are attracting people, some stars are attracting people, and they are just getting some droplets of Krishna's vibhutis. But that has such a magnetic power that people are dying for it, or people are doing so many crazy things. Then what will happen to those people when they will see, they will come in contact with Krishna? So that is very amazing. So we should understand Krishna is all attractive. His heart, he is so attracted to our hearts. So anything which is attracting us, it is just a minute vibhuti or representation of Krishna actually. But original attraction which we have for Lord is unlimited. And the Lord is reservoir of such opulence unlimitedly. So now here just Krishna described the pradhanyata, the principle of aspects of his opulences. Next verse. Text ante Amatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutasha Sthita Ahmadisya Madhyam Cha Bhutanatmanante Evacha. I am the super soul Arjuna seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
But in this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesh, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in this material and spiritual worlds. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant because Arjuna is above such darkness. The personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by the dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnation. From him, everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. He is the soul. When the Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as the super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul, Krishna, enters. As stated in Subala Upanishad, Prakriti Adi Sarva, Utantar Yami Sarva Sheshi Cha Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the super soul in all manifested universes. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in the Shatvat Tantra, Vishnu Sutrini Rupani, Purushakyani Atho Vidu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karnadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, and Shiradakshay Vishnu in this material manifestation. The Mahavishnu or the Karnadakshay Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.47. Ya Karana Nava Jale Bhajanti Sma Yoga Nidram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of the universe, maintainer of the universal manifestation, and the end of all energy. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now time is up. We'll stop here. Next weekend I am not available, so we'll have class on 22nd November. Next class. Okay.
Good.
Okay. 20, sorry.
22nd November.
Okay. Okay. Next 2 weeks you are not there. Okay.
Next 2 weeks? No, not next 2 weeks. Sorry. I am there on 15th.
Okay. 15th. Okay.
Next Saturday, Sunday I am not there.
Okay.
Thank you. 2 days means Friday, Saturday. Next Saturday, Sunday I am not there.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dande Prabhuji.
Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Bol.
you,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Pranam.